a story that Peter claims to have been very excited about. We'll see how he reacts when he finds out what it is. I am not excited about it. I'm waiting for the counteraction for today's Not So Critical update.
This is a story about there was a court case last year by some people, Alex Springer, and it's all to do with the German definition of copyright. So I can explain a little bit, but basically the good news is that ad blocking does not constitute copyright infringement according to the court ruling. It's immediately going to get appealed, and it's a very technical case because it depends on the definition of like artistic, a piece of art, a work of art. So join me, guys.
So if I understand, the idea is you come to my website and my website has an ad on the page. Once you once you access my website, you're downloading it onto your computer. And if you get rid of the ad, are you violating my copyright by modifying my content, which included the ad, so that you can see it without the ad? That's what we're talking about here, right? And I say the answer is clearly yes. You should view my ad.
Yeah. So
because that's the way I
don't think I haven't agreed. So I don't like the going on a website means you agree to the terms of service. Let's start there. I think that's kind of shitty because what if I type the wrong URL in? You know, like what if I go to Facebook instead of whatever? And now I'm binded by their terms of service.
Remember when people used to send emails and the email would be like, by reading this email, you agree to keep this confidential or some nonsense.
Right. Like, I'm not binded by that. Like, you can't tell me that I've agreed. I've read it. Put it at the top then.
So it's actually quite a nuanced argument because if I were to buy a newspaper, then it has the ads and they're not easily removable, right? But if I were to buy a newspaper and then cut out all the ads, it would actually kind of make it unreadable, I suppose. If the ads, anyway, whatever. Let's say if I
just like
fixed out all the ads,
you cover the ads,
cover the ads all up, and then sold it to someone else. Is that copyright infringement? And I think that might be. And the selling part might make it different, but the point is that I'm modifying a created a creation from someone.
That's an interesting example. So how is that different?
Are you arguing against ad blockers?
No, I'm just saying it's a nuanced argument, and that was how it was presented to the court. I don't think it is because when there's different ways that ad blockers work. Sometimes they prevent the ads being downloaded in the first place, and the second thing is that all I'm trying to do is just play devil's advocate there. I hate ads, obviously.
but ad blockers
25 years this year.
Oh wow, nice, congrats, Peter. Ad blockers generally, like you said, generally speaking, this is your domain more than anyone, but they prevent, right? They're meant to block before. But I know that I have the option on uBlock. I have the option to right click block element if I wanted to. Yeah,
right.
There's two features. One thing that I wanted to...
There's network level blocking and there's cosmetic blocking, which is what you were just talking about. But go ahead. Sorry.
Password manager. This would have been really bad because password managers alter every single page you go on. That's just one example. A lot of extensions do this, but specifically password managers, they alter because they are constantly monitoring for the password and username field or password and email field. Anyway, for once, I've really not been feeling Germany on the digital front lately. But it seems like they figured it out.
Well, no, not really. I mean, there's a big hoo-ha, and obviously I like the fact that the court ruled against it. There's a lot of implications, like you said, about the password managers, but even just saving a copy of an HTML file on your hard drive and then editing it, that would be copyright infringement technically if this ruling went ahead. All that's happening is that it's being done automatically to some extent.
Well, just make the world pirates is all this would do, because...
it's the thing is, this is immediately going to be appealed. They've already,
and
people,
of course,
I don't
obviously.
I started by saying it's got like I agree or I disagree with like I don't. It's whether it's copyright infringement or not. I don't care or no. Like that's how the internet works. Same thing we talked about with this like Missouri case where the governor has threatened to and possibly even has followed through on indicting a reporter who looked at the view source, like similar category of things, right? I do like the newspaper analogy because if I create a newspaper, part of what subsidizes the cost of that paper is the ads that I sell. So if you cut out the ads, I don't know, does it matter? Because I've already sold the ads.
Have I inadvertently persuaded Mike?
No, but you made $1. You made $1 off of someone's work, right? So if a really good example of this, that pisses everyone off lately, is the theft and piracy of content online to be sold as NFTs, right? Yeah. And obviously, let's say I created this and I'm selling it on Etsy, a digital copy, and you can have as many as you want. So this would be
maybe a viewer takes a screenshot of our episode that we're doing right now, turns it into an NFT and sells it.
And makes X amount of money off of it. So we are not getting a share of that. NFT's whole ecosystem is supposed to be that the creator can request royalties on whatever is resold afterwards, but nothing is stopping me from right-click copy and then creating a new NFT without, totally leaving out the creator. I think this is similar to where the tie-in is if I was to grab a newspaper and I was to paint over the ads and I was to resell that, the ad company is not gaining any additional viewership from that, and the newspaper company that printed it isn't getting any extra money from my resell.
But they wouldn't anyway.
Instance, but you're devaluing the product, and that it's not about that. It's about the principle, I think. And I don't agree with this, but the argument is that you are the owner of the person who created that thing owns copyright on it, and if you modify it in any way, then you are breaking copyright. That's what copyright
idea of
is.
Derived works. I should be if I use something as a base and modify it. Now it's kind of mine because I've changed it significantly. So if I buy a newspaper and cut out the ads, the newspaper's already gotten paid for the ads. They've already gotten paid for the paper. There's no more money for them to make. If I modify it in whatever way and then resell it, what I'm reselling is my changes, not the original newspaper. Somebody could just go buy that.
But it is actually irrelevant because if you were to keep the ads and resell it, right, then I don't think that the newspaper would care, because I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm living in 1995 and I'm in a house of 5 and I order the New York Times. So every day I get the New York Times drop at my doorstep. I wake up, I pick it up, I read it, and I leave it on the kitchen table. Then the wife or husband wake up and they sit down at the table and they open that newspaper and they read it, right? And then the older son or daughter, they wake up a little bit later than that, and then they come and they read it, right? But what happens if I have now I have my demographic has grown by 300% as the ad company, and I've potentially advertised to that many more people. But if the same scenario happens, right? Wake up, grab the newspaper, and the first thing I do is cut out the ads. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah. So what about the people who are watching TV on Twitch, for example? Now they're like, this is kind of a big brouhaha at the moment. People getting banned for just watching episodes of TV or movies on Twitch. Is that
well, that's DMCA, but that's DMCA's, right? Like that's the media, that's the owner of that show that they're watching.
Oh man, guys, I think we should drop back from this, because we're all experts in security and privacy. That's clear. But I'm not sure about copyright law. It's a tricky subject.
It is a tricky subject.
As much an expert in copyright law as I am in privacy and security.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I was going to say bollocks and bullshit at the same time. So
which one do you think I'm more of an expert in, Peter?
Bullshit.
Bullocks. What? More of an expert?
Which one am I more of an expert in?
Absolutely privacy. I think.
I'm an expert in privacy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
People should definitely take privacy advice from me. I'm endorsed by Peter Lowe. Yes, that.
Yeah. What have you done?
Peter Lowe said I'm a privacy expert, so I'm getting my business cards printed as we speak.
I don't think that being an expert necessarily means that you're right every time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Wow,
You're
well said,
definitely not
Peter.
right.
Very
How
humble.
convenient. All right. Well,
Very
I'm not an
humble,
expert
but
in
in a
any
not
of
humble
them,
way.
but I'm glad I get credit for by association with
We
you guys
should
for
talk about
privacy and
copyright
security.
more later, at some time in the
Oh.
future or in the past. Again, perpetual present. No, not idea where I am. What time is it? What year is it?